Hey, I'm Garth from Trouble Light Films here in Windsor. I'm sitting on my front step because it's actually nice out. Bronwen curates, promotes bi-monthly LGBTQ dance party, The Rainbow Connection, which she holds at Villain's Bistro in downtown Windsor. And she's a bit of a Pistons fan. I got to talk to her about some of her memorabilia and what it's like to go to a Raptors home game in Detroit. Hey Bronwen, how you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Not too bad. So you were running the Rainbow Connection for like just over a year, right? And that was like a monthly,
Yes.
bi-monthly?
It was bi-monthly. We were actually supposed to, the next one was going to be scheduled for Saturday night, this past Saturday. So it was a little bit of a bummer to see that date come and go and not be able to throw a party for everybody.
Yeah, well, I mean, I saw you dancing on the weekend, so you've been trying to cheer everybody up, which is great.
Well, it's all about, dancing. You're supposed to just sort of let yourself go and not take yourself so seriously and just kind of express yourself. So I just try to do that and remind people that, we're still able to have fun even though we're stuck indoors and away from everybody.
Yeah, it'll be good to get back. Now, you hold these events where, normally?
These are at Villain's Bistro.
One of my favorites, definitely. Jeff's
Yes.
great. Jeff's great.
He's been very supportive to the queer community in our city, and he actually, when my friends, before they moved to Toronto, were running a similar night, and they ended up moving to Toronto, and so there was kind of a gap in the Villain schedule for queer events like this, and so Jeff actually approached me and said, hey, there's a need. Do you want to pick up where they left off? And I said, absolutely, let's do this.
Now, one thing I learned pretty quick when I moved down here, the rivalry is strong now between the Raptors and the Pistons, especially with, the home games are becoming kind of 50-50. Tell me what you think about that. What's that like as a Pistons fan?
And the Raptors started to pick up some steam with Lowry and DeRozan and Valanciunas, and they were starting to get themselves into playoff contention. More and more MVP chants for Lowry were happening, and more jerseys, and We the North flags, and I was like, what is happening? And it was such a bizarre thing because it was all of a sudden, Raptors had fans, and they came out of nowhere.
Oh yeah.
And it was such a bizarre thing to be in my home stadium of my team, and have the opponent have as loud of a voice in that arena. It was so weird.
On top of all that, I mean, you were showing me some pretty amazing swag you've got. I mean, so that's hardcore Piston fan stuff that you were showing me. Some of these things.
I'm the kind of person where I have an obsessive like for things. I tend to, I go 100% turbo, I love them. So for me, I've struggled with my memorabilia collection because I don't want to become that hoarder. I don't want to have, piles and piles of things that I can't really look at or use, or I don't want to have to burden the people when I die to deal with all my stuff.
It's like me,
so I've been trying to curate pieces that really matter to me, things from players that have meant something to me, things from moments that mean something to me. So I have a massive collection of T-shirts which are being made into a quilt. I have really talented friends, and they know of my obsession, so they make me beautiful things. So I have this beautiful Pistons mosaic. It's a lot nicer to see when it's backlit, but it's you can see all the, it's absolutely insane. My friend Jeanette made this for me.
That is perfect.
Rob Rosati from the Dominion House gave me this awesome Detroit Free Press Bad Boys magazine. I've been trying to collect jerseys. I prefer, I was pretty adverse to the teal when at first, because I was in the 90s, I was why? But it seemed to be the trend. But then when I came back to it later in life, I just had to pick up a teal jersey. We finally made it back to the playoffs after a bit of a dry spell, and we were facing LeBron James again. And so he had kind of gotten a reputation for being a bit of a crybaby. So I had this guy made out of cardboard. And it's, as you can see, it's quite large if you can see kind of the comparison between my head and his.
Yeah.
And I had lower bowl seats on the corner right by the free throw line. So every time he shot a free throw, he got a dose of his crybaby face. And that got me a lot of attention at the Palace. I'm telling you, I had people stopping me to take pictures with Crying LeBron. The dancing usher made me stop and take a picture with them.
One last thing I want to ask. The wallet.
This guy, right here. It's actually an eyeglass case.
Okay.
Like it has, it's got like because I wear glasses and sunglasses. But it's like hand tooled. And like it's the same friend who made the mosaic piece for me.
That is something special.
She was already was pretty well versed in the logo, and again she's working from home during the pandemic and needed a project to keep her busy, so she made this for me, and I was dumbfounded at her artistry. Like, it's just beautiful.
That's really nice. That's awesome. So, Bronwen, I can't thank you enough for talking to me. And
hey, no problem.
And let's hope that we get something for some playoffs. That would be amazing.
Oh, fingers crossed for basketball. I just want to see them play.
Yeah, totally. Thanks again. For all our favorite venues, bands, and DJs, we miss you guys a lot.